Discuss about some important inheritance patterns of some important diseases. So first we will discuss about the autosomal dominant disorders. Autosomal dominant, how do you remember easily what can be the possible diseases? The trick is you should remember the neurocutaneous syndromes. Okay, neurocutaneous syndromes like tuberous sclerosis, then neurofibromatosis type 1 and 2. These are under this. And also you can remember this Marfan syndrome and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So they come under this autosomal dominant disorders. And also you can remember some diseases like achondroplasia and osteogenesis imperfecta. These things are also coming under. So other diseases which starts from age like hereditary spherocytosis and HOCM or Huntington's. So they come under this. And apart from that, the diseases that start from V, especially Von, like von Hippel-Lindau disease and von Willebrand disease. So this is basically a easier approach to remember. But anyway, the mnemonic is going to help a lot to remember this autosomal dominant disorders. And the mnemonic for that is heavy dominant. So what are the diseases? Let's see. So from H, we should remember the first letter is H, and the diseases are hereditary spherocytosis, then hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, and Huntington's disease. So we must remember these three, very important. Number two comes E. From E, you should remember it is Ehlers-Danlos. So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome that comes under autosomal dominance. So it is a collagen tissue disorder. So you should remember another collagen tissue disorder, that is Marfan syndrome, also comes under this autosomal dominance. So we'll see that. The next letter is A. So from A, you should remember the only disease, that is achondroplasia. Achondroplasia. The next letter is V, and wherever V is there, so it will be Von. So there are two things from Von. Von Willebrand, which is related to bleeding disorder, and von Hippel-Lindau. Okay. So these syndromes comes under V. Then the Y in heavy I have kept in small letter. That means this is silent actually. It doesn't mean anything. The next letter comes is D. So from D, you should remember dystrophia myotonica. So myotonic dystrophy. Okay. The next letter comes O. So from O, we know what important diseases are there from O. So only two you can remember. The most common diseases are osteogenesis imperfecta and autosclerosis. So there are very few diseases starts with O, so you can remember easily. The next letter which is there is M. So I already said Marfan syndrome. So Marfan syndrome starts from M. And another is MEN syndrome, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndromes. Okay. So they also commented this. So the next letter that is there is I. So you can see the next letter is I. And from I, we have intermittent porphyria. So porphyria. The next comes N. So it's a very unique disease. You will remember this. That is Noonan syndrome. So Noonan syndrome starts with N. Then comes A. That A is not very significant because you will remember this A very easily. This A stands for ADPKD. That is autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. So in the name itself, autosomal dominant is mentioned, so it will be never asked, to be honest. Okay. Then comes again N. So the second N is neurofibromatosis type 1 and 2. And the last but not the least is the T. T is tuberous sclerosis. So neurofibromatosis and tuberous sclerosis, the neurocutaneous syndromes. So it's very easy to remember. Apart from all this, there are some other syndromes that you should remember, like familial adenomatous polyposis. You have read in surgery, that is also autosomal dominant disorder. Apart from that, another disorder that we should remember is Lee-Frommeni syndrome. Lee-Frommeni syndrome. And another you can remember if you can, that is hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia. So the other things are not that much asked, but you should remember the heavy dominant part is very important and is asked again and again. So remember about autosomal recessive conditions. So it's very easy. So if the questions are asked on ataxia, like ataxia telangiectasia or Friedreich's ataxia, they come under autosomal recessive condition. Then most of the metabolic disorders come under autosomal recessive, except two that you must remember. These two are basically Hunter syndrome, and the Fabry disease. So what are they? Where do they belong? These two are actually belonging to X-linked recessive. Then remember blood disorders like beta thalassemia and sickle cell anemia. One of the most important diseases like cystic fibrosis, emphysema, that is due to alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. These things also come under autosomal recessive conditions. Apart from that, copper metabolism related disease, which also comes under metabolic disorder only. So like Wilson's disease, then iron metabolism related hemochromatosis, These all things, these all conditions come under autosomal recessive. How do you remember X-linked dominant diseases? It's very easy to remember. You should remember a rose being given to a children, a rose being given to a child. So a red rose for all children. That is the mnemonic for this. And diseases starting from R are Rett syndrome, Rett syndrome. Then comes rickets. So rickets, as in rose, rachitic rosary is seen. So you can remember like that. Then from A, you can say Alport syndrome, Alport syndrome. And the special disease that is from C, we should remember is Charcot-Marie Tooth disease. So that's how you remember autosomal. Sorry, that's how you remember X-linked dominant disorders. Remember about X-linked recessive disorders. So there's a good mnemonic for it. That is Lady Hardin's college girls don't care about foolish words. So we'll take the first letters from each of the words. From the word L, we have some diseases like Leishman syndrome. Leishman syndrome. Then we have Lowy syndrome. The next letter is H. So from H, you should remember two diseases: Hunter's disease and hemophilia A and B. Hemophilia A and B. The next letter is C, and the disease is chronic granulomatous disease, which occurs due to NADPH oxidase deficiency. The next letter is G, and from G, we are having one important disorder, that is G6PD deficiency. Then comes the next letter, which is D. From D, we have Duchenne muscular dystrophy and diabetes insipidus. Not diabetes mellitus, diabetes insipidus. The next letter is C. You can see again. From this C, we can say color blindness. Color blindness. Apart from that, the next letter is A. From A, we can say A gamma globulinemia. Then comes the word F. The letter F, we have Fabry's disease. Fabry's disease. And comes the W, that is Wiskott-Aldrich syndrome. So these are the diseases which are associated with X-linked recessive trait.